Aloha friends, and welcome to my channel Tasty Healthy. Today we're going to be making sweet potato soup, and right now I'm putting away some cauliflower greens to later make a veggie broth with. You can always use your extra leftover greens, any leftover veggies you have, and make a nice veggie broth so that you can add it to different soups. So we're going to start with a head of cauliflower. It's about 2 cups of cauliflower if you want to be exact, but I'm usually not with my recipes unless I'm making, a Michelin recipe or something. So I'm going to start with a head of cauliflower. And make sure that you shave off any of those gray pieces, anything that looks questionable. Cauliflower is infamous for growing mold and fungi quickly. So go ahead and shave off those questionable pieces. And then breaking the cauliflower florets off and putting them in the steam basket. Just cut off a piece of the core, which we're also going to add to the steam basket. And usually the entire cauliflower head will fit into the steam basket, and even the core. But if not, like I said, you can use it to make a veggie broth. And we're going to be using the rice cooker. For most of the recipes I make on here, I'm going to use the rice cooker. It's just easier. Most people internationally have a rice cooker, and if you don't, you can use your stovetop. And many students, especially in Hawaii, we use rice cooker. We use rice cooker all the time when I first started college. So, and I'll put that in the comment in the notes below so that you can purchase one if you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and put that into the rice cooker. It's a little steam basket. You just pop in the top, some water in the pot, and usually takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes depending on what you're putting in it. And so we're going to go ahead and put that aside, and while we get that started, we're going to rough chop the veggies. And we're going to start with 1 red onion. I'm actually going to use 2 red onions for this recipe because I'm used to using a large red onion, and all they had at the market this week was a small red onion. So use what you have, right? But sometimes you can adapt it to your liking, whether you like more onions or less. Go ahead and go with that. So 1 red onion, and then we're going to move on and rough chop some sweet potato, 1.5 cups of sweet potato, and I just eyeballed it again on this. You can measure it out exactly if you'd like. When I first started cooking, I measured everything out exactly, and that's the way it was. I just was very thorough with measurements, and now I think as you get older, you just start to realize it takes a lot of time to do that, and it's just easier to just eyeball things. And every day is different. The recipe tastes basically the same every single time. I think it's more about the freshness of the ingredients, really, than the amount, but it depends. If you have a lot of one ingredient, then of course the amount would definitely matter. Okay, so rough chopping these sweet potatoes, and then another red onion, and again, as always, use the freshest of ingredients. It's always best to shop in the morning or in the evening instead of when the sun is up, because even the time that you carry it in the car can age the ingredients. I like to shop either in the morning or in the evening. Usually there's less people there at those times too. Okay, so we're going to add all these ingredients to a bowl, make a little bit more room on our cutting board. And we just pulled out a fennel bulb. Fennel is an amazing herb, amazing veggie. Just adds so much flavor. We're going to slice it to smaller pieces and add that to our bowl. And then we're going to add 1 small turmeric root. You can use it bigger if you want, but I think turmeric can be kind of strong, so you don't need a whole lot. We're just doing a soup here, and it's going to, add that anti-inflammatory property. Turmeric is one of the number one, actually I'd say the number one, because we've actually done studies, medical studies, where it's right up there with the top cancer drugs as far as effectiveness. So turmeric is always a good idea. And then we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic. I always add 1 more because I'm a garlic lover. So if you're Italian or you just love garlic, go ahead and add more. If not, add less. And then 1 piece of ginger, fresh ginger. And I usually do about 1 inch. That's pretty standard in the cooking world. Okay, so we're gonna move all these veggies into another steamer basket. It's really ideal if you have 2 rice cookers, so you can steam everything at once. And then it's all ready at once. And this is a really easy recipe. I mean, the major time is the chopping time, which is about 10 minutes. If that. I think we did it in 6 or 7. And then, you just throw it in the steamer. So, super easy. Come home from work or school, throw it in the steamer, and then go do something else, come back, and then you're ready to finish your soup. So, you are putting the veggies back into the rice cooker, empty rice cooker, and then using an immersion blender. There's lots of different immersion blenders. I'm still trying out different ones, but this is the KitchenAid one. I'll put it down in the notes. And I like to kind of blend a little bit in the veggies first before I get the water in, because then you can get right on top of them instead of them kind of flying around in the water. Okay, then you're going to add 4 cups of veggie broth or water. Today it's water for me. As you noticed, I was collecting scraps for my veggie broth, so I'll be making some veggie broth to go in future soups. But right now I just have water. Filtered water is always the best. Enagic, I think, is the number one water filter. I'm not too hip on the store-bought ones, but it's definitely better than using the faucet water. I haven't drank faucet water for years, and then I recently tried it for like a day or two. Maybe it was a week. I don't know. I thought I'll just try it, and then I tried side by side the bottled water with the faucet water, and it was just awful. The faucet water is just awful. Has all kinds of stuff in it. So if you're going to do bottled water, Fiji is, I think, number one. Does not have the BPAs in it. I just stopping to add some salt and pepper, pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And then we're going to continue to blend. I think Costco has Kirkland is a good brand that does not have BPAs in it. But ideally you want to use like the water filter you put on the faucet, and Enagic is the best. So that is the one I like the best. But if I'm going bottled, then Fiji is the best. Okay, so we're just gonna continue to blend here. Just get really thorough. This immersion blender kind of, when I first started using it, would kind of grip, kind of suction to the bottom. So you have to kind of be careful and keep it in between the top and the bottom. You don't want it above the soup because it will splatter everywhere. You kind of have to keep it at an angle so that it doesn't suction to the bottom, because when I first started using it, it scraped the bottom of this pan pretty good. So I need to get, got to get a new pan soon. But it's pretty good blender, and it's way better than pouring it in the blender. I used to pour it into the blender and get burnt. So if you can, buy an immersion blender for sure. Makes life so much easier, and you're less likely to get burned. You don't have to go back and forth blending different segments. Okay, so we're just gonna put it into a bowl here. Ladle it into a bowl, and then you can add a garnish on top. Parsley is good. Parsley, thyme. I usually go with cilantro, also known as coriander. But I like cilantro a lot, so I usually go with cilantro, unless I'm having kind of like a veggie stew. Parsley would go better on a veggie stew, or maybe something with tomatoes. But with this particular diet, we don't eat tomatoes, so those can cause inflammation and cause allergies, so we stay away from those. So there it is, sweet potato soup, delicious. Winter is on the way. Should I say fall is on the way, but winter will follow, and soup is always a good thing to have on hand. And this one is so easy to make. It's incredibly easy, so I highly recommend you try it, and it'll make your life easier for sure. So thank you so much, mahalo nui, friends, for joining us, and I hope you enjoy eating this sweet potato soup. And if you are enjoying watching these videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then you'll receive notification. I think there's a bell too, but I haven't been able to find it lately. So if you can find the bell, click the bell. The bell will give you notifications when there's a new video, and you can join us on every video. I hope you enjoy eating this sweet potato soup, and aloha, friends.